Your ADHD teen isn't defiant, she's paralyzed. And this is how I'm going to explain it to you so that as a parent, you can understand and connect better. Now, I'm Ivan. I'm a parent coach. I am an occupational therapist. I have specialized in sensory processing and understanding the brain and how we think and how that changes how we behave and respond to the environment. As a parent, it is so important for us to understand how our children see the world and interpret the world and work within that. But we're talking about ADHD paralysis, or this freezing up and inability to move forward. I have a couple analogies that I want to give you, a couple metaphors that I want to use for you to understand what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to teach you why, what is going on, so that you as a parent can move forward. The first one, imagine a big giant boulder, and your teen is trying to get the boulder to move. And so they are pushing, and it takes so much strength and energy to get that first movement. But once it's moving, it's easier to keep the boulder moving. And this is when your teen is having a hard time starting a task, homework, eating, chores, whatever it is. They're just sitting there, but it's just helping getting that boulder moving. That's the first example. The next one, think about your teen on this beach, and there's this wave of stuff coming out, giant wave, and they're just standing there frozen. And everybody else on the beach is running away. Everybody else sees this big, massive wave, but your teen freezes. And the wave is just going to hit them. They know it's going to hit them, but they can't do anything else but just watch it come. The next metaphor is staring and zoning out. If you can picture that circle that comes up on the TV or your laptop or your phone when it's loading, and it goes on, but it's just circling. It's like a program can't actually activate. We're just waiting, given time, but it's in that loading phase. I've got three more, but I want to break this up and tell you about how your brain's teen is actually working. We get all this information through nerve endings. They come in through what we touch, how we move, through what we feel, through what we see, hear, all of that. Pressure, it all comes up the spinal cord and goes into the brain, goes into the deep parts of the brain. And in there, the part of our brain that's in charge of taking all this information, sorting it, and then sending it up to the higher parts where we think, reason, plan, act, and do all sorts of cool stuff. But that bus terminal, that area that gets all that information in, all the passengers pretend like they're on little buses coming in, and then they have to get off, and then they get on new buses, and that's how they get up to the areas in the top. That bus terminal gets confused and it gets overwhelmed. So we have all this information in there, but that is when we have these trouble. Now, a few more metaphors. We've talked about the overload of, oh my goodness, I've got all this stuff coming at me, staring, zoning out. Hey, hello. And they're just kind of staring at you. That's loading. How about forgetfulness? They keep forgetting to do things. And it's like on your laptop, you open up all these tabs, but then they keep closing. And you're just like, oh my goodness, I got to open it up. Your child needs help, but they don't ask for help. And you're thinking, why didn't my child ask for help? All you have to do is say, hey, I need help with this, but they're not doing it. And again, thinking about like on the outside, they know that they need to present a certain face. So they're smiling, they're doing something. But it's like that there's a hamster wheel on the inside and nobody's on it. And they're just waiting for something to happen to, oh, what do I need to do? They're not in a position to ask for help because their brain isn't processing in that regard. The emotional overload, having feelings, stressors, anxiety, all this happening on an emotional level. And it's like they're sitting in quicksand. And the more that they try to do to help, or the more that you are trying to help them, it just adds pressure and it sinks them deeper and deeper inside. So think about how the brain processes. Think about these metaphors. We need to come in slower with less intensity to help pull them out of the quicksand. We need to be patient with them while they're loading, while they're staring out, given soft cues, because most of the time when we add more input, when we add more information, when we try to cue them more and more, all we're doing is adding pressure and it's shutting down their system harder and harder. And it becomes very difficult for them to be successful, for them to move on, for them to be able to process and move. Sometimes getting the boulder to start moving, getting them to move away from that big wave of information, getting them out of the quicksand. Sometimes all it takes is for you to be calm and to sit by them. Just knowing and that you are there to help them, but not judge them, not to force them to do anything, can help kickstart that process. Our brains are amazing. When we see somebody else do something, the nerves in our brain actually will light up. They're called mirror neurons, and we can use this with our children, and especially our children who have ADHD. By us doing something calmly and connected to them, sitting by them, we can help them process better. We co-regulate with them. That is one of the biggest keys in how you as a parent can help your teen. Now, I'm a parent coach. This is what I do. I help families to be successful. But if you are trying them and you think, Ivan, I don't know, how do I apply this to my child? How do I grow as a parent? How do I shift my parenting style? This is when you reach out to me. Let's connect. Let me talk to you about what my parent coaching program can do for you so that you are successful. You can be sped up in your learning process. You can have quicker success with your teen so that your home is peaceful, your teen feels successful. And these challenges of freezing, ADHD paralysis can be overcome with greater ease, greater peace, greater happiness, and you can move forward. I'm excited to hear back from you.